Ladies and gentlemen, I have Drew Brees, Super Bowl champion, legend. How you doing, baby?
I'm great.
You doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the Niners, we got the Chiefs. If the Niners end up pulling out this win, does it make Brock Purdy become one of the most unique stories in NFL?
Yes, without question.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft. I think especially like when you look at what the Niners tried to do the year, trading up for Trey Lance and like feeling like they were unsettled a little bit at the quarterback position and, going after some high draft picks and then basically it's like, oh yeah, by the way, with this last pick in the draft, we'll take this kid out of Iowa State that nobody's ever heard of, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden this becomes the guy who potentially leads you to a Super Bowl championship. It's an unbelievable story.
What do you think he's been doing well since he's been taking over at QB1?
Yeah. Well, I think he's got a lot of unique traits.
Okay.
And I think you have to go back to the fact that this guy started 47 games in college.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So think about the amount of experience that he has in very competitive situations.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, in most cases, similar to Purdue, when Iowa State steps on the field, in most cases they're the underdog, right? They're not winning any beauty contests, right? Yep. And so think about it just kind of puts extra, like chip on your shoulder, motivation. You have to play at a very high level to compete, to win. And I'm sure for him it was, accomplishing something that hadn't been accomplished there. And man, he put together an outstanding career. So he came into the league with just a lot of confidence. And you step into an offense like Shanahan's offense, which is multiple.
Yes.
I think it's one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah.
The way that he's architected that. The shifts, the motions, the timing, the rhythm. Look, it takes a very intelligent quarterback to do that.
Yeah.
And a guy who has great command. And I think Brock has shown to be that guy.
Right.
Like, listen to the way the teammates talk about him.
Yeah.
His teammates love him, right?
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I'd say is like, just look no further than just asking the teammates how they feel about the guy. I love the way that he plays the game from the perspective of just his timing and rhythm and the base that he plays with. It reminds me a lot of the way that I play the game.
Yep.
But you have to create the timing and rhythm for yourself. And the West Coast offense its hallmarks are that the pass game is an extension of the run game. So it's very progression driven. It's, first hitch is here, second hitch is here, ball out, don't take negative plays. Then get the ball to your playmakers in space, matriculate the ball down the field. Like, yeah, we're going to get a big play every now and then, but it's outside zone run game, and then it's the short intermediate passing game. So he can execute that. What impressed me the most was last week when he took off and ran for 3 huge first downs in that game.
Plays.
Which, to me, when people say, oh, he's a system quarterback, well, guess what? He just went outside the system and made incredible plays that totally transformed the complexion of that game. They won the game. They got the fans back in it. They come in down 17. It just allowed them to scratch and claw their way back to win that game. So, to me, that says this guy was ready to do whatever it took to win that game. Right. Outside the realm of what you would have thought he would have done. So that's my argument for Brock Purdy.
Okay, that's cool. So let's hop over to the other quarterback from the other side, Patrick Mahomes, a guy that's been doing those things since he's been in the league. If Patrick gets this win this weekend, where is he at in the history books? Where do you have him at the history books?
Well, I mean, just look at what his short career thus far. 6 years, 6 conference championship games, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowl wins.
That's crazy.
Like that would be remarkable. Right? I mean, not since Tom Brady, and the first 6 years of his career. I mean, there's a lot of similarities in regards to playoff appearances, wins, Super Bowls, that kind of thing. Man, the difference here is you feel like this guy is doing things that are just so uncanny, right? And he's become the poster child for what everyone is attempting to find. Right? In regards to the skill set of a player. Like, yes, he can stand in the pocket and beat you, but he does all these other things like to buy time, to create, to be off schedule, off script, throw this ball sidearm, throw this ball crossbody, no look. And it looks like he's just having fun. Right? Like it looks like it's just very unscripted. Like you look at this guy's history, man, he's a great baseball player, right? Dad was a professional baseball player, he's a multi-sport athlete, right? So you look at all these things, but man, he's a generational player, right? I still don't think it's fair to compare him yet to a Brady or these guys who have played 20 years.
Yes, of course.
This guy's been a 6-year starter.
Yes.
Right? Let's see the body of work over the course of a 15 to 20-year career. And because look, eventually he's going to be without Andy Reid.
Yep.
He's going to be without Travis Kelce.
Yep.
He's going to have to go and do this with other guys.
Yep.
And that's not to take anything away from him, but it's just to say
It's going to be a change.
It's a body of work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Before you can get into the argument of
Right.
greatest of all time.
Yes.
But is he on track? Yes, he is.
Yes. Okay, so you talked about greatest of all time. Obviously, there's a lot of talks about the GOAT talk. Is it Tom? Is it Peyton? Like, I don't ever hear that name, that Drew Brees name get popped up on there, man. I feel like Drew Brees' name should be in there. You had a long body of work. How do you feel about that when you hear those conversations being had? Because let's be real. When I played against you, we always knew it was going to be some problems. Don't let Drew Brees get the ball with a minute left, 2 minutes left if we scored a game, because we knew that you could, go down there and beat us, and you did plenty of times.
Look, you can't play the quarterback position in this game without confidence.
Yeah.
And you can't do the things that we did without believing that I'm the best in the freaking world, right? Like, and just give me a chance, and we always have a chance.
Yeah.
And there's nobody that can beat us. Like, when you step on the field, you beat anybody, anytime, anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And there's things that I look back on throughout my career, and there's moments where I was like, man, I can do certain things better than anybody in the world, or than anybody has ever done it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I also really value the accomplishments of other guys throughout history. In fact, I drew a ton of inspiration from those guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I drew a ton of inspiration while I was playing from guys like Peyton Manning and guys like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like, I would pull up their tape and I would watch it and I would study it and I would try to steal just little elements of their game. How can I incorporate this into what I'm doing? Because I know at some point I'm going to have to beat those guys, right? And I want to know exactly what I'm going up against, and I want to know where I can develop an edge, right? And so, look, I'm not. I think I'm definitely in the conversation when you talk about the body of work and the level of consistency and what you brought to the game throughout a career. Yeah. As far as rankings, I'm not worried about that. I just always felt like I wanted to leave this game better than when I found it. Yeah. And I felt like
you did for sure. Okay, so you played in the Super Bowl. You beat Peyton Manning. I remember I was in college watching that game. Preparation for that game, was it any different, from a regular season game, from an NFC Championship game? Did you do anything different going into that Super Bowl game? Was there a routine that may have changed? I know you're a creature of habit. I know you're a quarterback. I'm an athlete as well, playing in the NFL. I understand how it goes. But for that one game, was there anything different?
The only thing that was different was how do you manage the distractions?
Okay.
Like, you got media day, you got this, you got that. Like, you have all these extra things that you wouldn't have during a normal week of preparation. The best advice I ever got was find a quiet place in the hotel or wherever it might be where you can go and just get away from all that stuff, right? Because otherwise people will be grabbing at you left and right. So how do you create that consistent routine that you've always had? Because to me, honestly, like, it wasn't that I was putting in a little extra work the week of the Super Bowl. Every game for me was like it wasn't the Super Bowl, but it was, I still went in with the same level of preparation, with the same mindset that I'm going to try to go out here and prove something. Like, there was always something to prove. Like, there was always something to accomplish. I mean, we're going out here to break a record. We're going out to score, break the scoring record, right? Like, every time we stepped on the field, it was like, what are we going to do today that's never been done before? So how does that change when you step on the field for the Super Bowl? It's just another game. Now, were we nervous? The first couple plays, you're like, dude, this is crazy. But then you settle in, right? I mean, you definitely recognize that it's a big-ass game. Look, biggest game of your career, right? And yet you have to find a place to just get to that. Man, I'm just playing on my instincts, and I'm playing on my preparation, and I've earned the right to be here, and I've won this game in my mind already. Now I just get to go out and play.
Yes, sir. I love that. I got goosebumps over here. I want to play again. Okay, talk to us about your partnership with FedEx, man.
So I've represented FedEx for a long time. They've done the FedEx Ground and Air Player of the Year for 20-plus years now. I had the great pleasure of winning it 4 years in a row. So this year, I get to announce the winners. And so first time ever that it's two teammates. So FedEx Air Player of the Year, Brock Purdy. FedEx Ground Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. I'll show you the hardware here.
Let me see the hardware, baby. Let me see the hardware.
This baby is...
Is that heavy?
This baby's heavy. Check that out, huh? You like that?
Oh, yeah. FedEx Air NFL Player of the Year.
So
I like that.
actually, FedEx also is giving $20,000 to each player to be able to contribute to the HBCU of their choice.
Oh, dope.
For scholarship programs for deserving students. So
dope.
Tremendous. FedEx has always been a great partner of the league and great supporter of so many charities.
That's awesome. Okay, so last question. I know you got kids. I know they playing ball. I have a son, 6, playing flag football. Talk to me about like how you feel of the evolution of youth football with flag. Because for me, when I was 7, I was playing in a helmet. So now it's flag. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Football is the only sport where, like, you think about basketball. Like, basketball is, like, as a kid, it's 5-on-5. It may be a slightly smaller court. Maybe the rim's a little bit lower when you're young. But, I mean, it's the same. Baseball, it's the same. Maybe pitcher bound changes a little bit. The base pass changes a little bit. The fence changes. But it's still, 11-on-11 out there, right? Or 9-on-9, excuse me. But this is football is the one sport, though, where at the youth level, you can play it in a bunch of different ways as you kind of graduate your way up into like the tackle football realm, right? So there's versions of flag football that are 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 7-on-7. There's this flex football now that's kind of a 9-on-9, and it's kind of like a half shell. It's not full pads. So there's like this evolution that's taking place of how do we get kids playing this game, exposed to this game, like all the great elements of the team, like the team game that is football, and all the life lessons that you learn as a result of it. But do it in a way that, number one, we feel is safe. Number two, just gets kids really enjoying it and understanding the skill sets. And eventually, if they end up wanting to play tackle, great. If not, guess what? They probably developed a love and a passion for the game that they'll carry with them forever. The announcement of flag football in the Olympics is huge. So 2028 LA, it's going to be 5-on-5. So that really opens it up now as a global sport, right? And not the 11v11 version, but like the 5-on-5 version. So now kids have the chance to start playing this at a younger age, potentially have the chance to represent your country, right? But you become a fan for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Brees, Super Bowl champion, baby.